This tutorial is for 5th grade, Module 1, Lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to look at metric conversions using a 3-step process. The first part of the page is converting metric measurements that have to do with length. So you can see on the chart below that I have kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. In these empty spaces, there are other metric measurements that are not as commonly used, so we're not going to include those in the chart today. The first question asks us to convert 3 meters to centimeters. For step 1, it says write the beginning number in the chart so that the ones digit is in the unit name column. For example, for question 1, we're going to convert 3 meters. So we have the 3 in the meter section. Step 2 says put a decimal point on the right-hand side of the target unit. Our target unit is centimeters. So you can see we have a decimal point on the right-hand side of the centimeter column. Step 3 says to fill in the appropriate spaces with zeros, meaning anything in between my original number and the decimal point would be filled in with a 0. So you can see we put a 0 here and a 0 here. That means when I convert 3 meters to centimeters, I get a total of 300 centimeters. If I look at the next problem, we have 900 centimeters and we're going to convert that to meters. So again, step 1 says write the beginning number so that the ones digit of the number is in the unit name. Well, the unit name is centimeters. The ones digit would be 0. So I'm going to write the 0 in the centimeters column and fill in the rest of my number. Step 2 says put a decimal point on the right-hand side of the target unit. My target unit is meters. So I'll put a decimal point on the right-hand side. Step 3 says to fill in any spaces in between the beginning unit and the decimal point with zeros, but you can see we don't have any empty spots. So we just have to fill in our number. 900 centimeters is the same thing as 9 meters. In the next section, we're working with capacity. And so we have kiloliters, liters, and milliliters. We're going to follow the same 3-step process. The first problem says we want to convert 81 liters to milliliters. So I'm going to write the number 81 so that the 1, my ones digit, is in the liters column. So I'll write 81. My ones digit is in the liter column. Then I'll put a decimal point to the right-hand side of the milliliter column because that's our target unit, and I'll fill in the missing spots with zeros. That tells me that 81 liters is the same thing as 81,000 milliliters. In the last section, we're working with units for mass. Here we have kilograms, grams, and milligrams. Our first question says to convert 4/10 of a kilogram to grams. Again, we're going to start by placing our ones digit, which happens to be a 0, in the kilograms column. So we'll have a 0 here and then a 4 here, and at this point we'll just ignore the decimal point. We are converting it to grams, so that's where my decimal point will go on the right-hand side, and I will fill in the missing boxes with zeros. Now I can ignore this 0 at the start, and this tells me that 4/10 of a kilogram is the same thing as 400 grams. So you can see how using that 3-step process can help us with the metric conversions, no matter if we're working with length, capacity, or mass.